Good morning, everybody. We are on day 4 of QuiltCon, and I actually made some notes to talk about this morning because I feel like brain fog is so bad for us in the morning, just like it's been the last 2 days. We were so excited to get our day started, and a little daunting because tonight is load up and get out of here, which will be a mess. But day 3 was even more phenomenal than the previous 2 days. We met way more friends than we've had, that we've not met in person. We saw old friends we haven't seen in 10 years. Um, my favorite part is that we've met more nonprofits that can use our help. I really specifically wanted to give a shout out to Scrap Atlanta, who is here locally. They're a nonprofit that focuses on reusing materials instead of waste. They do take donations. I will be doing a bit of a write up and some videos about them next week, and I'm hoping we'll get to talk to them a little bit more about what they do. But we spent a bit of time talking about our mutual interest as far as sewing machines and fabric goes. Along with that, I've been approached by several people who know what our social mission is and understand, have heard my lecture on Quilts That Save Lives, where I talk about prison quilting programs and things of that nature. And there's been so much interest. I mean, for years for us, in my going to guilds and giving that lecture and talking about those programs, that offer quilting for inmates is very hard to do. And there are so many people in the Atlanta area that really want to get involved with that kind of program. The problem is I'm just one person and can't do all that. Well, the good thing is now the word is spreading and we're getting more and more people with time that are retired or just have extra time they want to devote to a good cause. So we're going to work on building some programs where we can start doing that. And a lot of that's going to be fabric donation. There's so much cleaning out happening. And because I still get questions, even here, people have asked, are you taking any fabric donations? I am not. We're going on year 4 in our RV and we live in a small space, so I don't have the capacity. But now we're matching up people that have the capability to help us get things where they need to be. So we're going to work with Scrap Atlanta on that. We also met a wonderful woman that works, her organization is called Tenderly Stitched, and she's out of Houston. She's actually a mechanical engineer and she works on oil rigs in Houston. So also somebody that comes from a very male dominated industry that's making strides. But by night and weekend, she has an organization that teaches sewing skills mostly to young people, to keep them out of trouble. A lot of inner city youth in Houston. And we seem to be a really, really good match for each other too. So those are just 2 of the organizations that we met. We're going to talk about them a little bit more when we get home. And we also, I don't know if I mentioned, but we did meet people from Australia have joined our program. We have 2 new people from the UK and Ireland, and then we have a couple new people from Canada. And then we had other people that, like I said, we've got given out more information here than we've enrolled people. And that's because when you come in here, it's very chaotic. I wish that I could have walked the floor and showed you how big the vendor space is, but it's 2 full floors of a convention center. So it's a lot for people to take in. And we were not expecting people to make decisions on joining our programs here. But the level of interest and the conversation has grown and grown, and not just on caring for your machine. It's just such a wide conversation. So Paul and I have decided, we've been contemplating this idea for a long time, and we knew that when the time was right, it would happen. Well, given the conversations we've had here at QuiltCon, we've decided it's time to go ahead and launch our podcast. I don't know if we were going to talk about this on the way home and our drive back up to St. Louis to pick up our son, but we have met so many good people whose stories need to be told that kind of intertwine with ours. So as soon as we get home, we'll be making plans to start our podcast. Again, mainly to have conversations with you, with each other, about sewing culture, sewing machine culture, all of the nonprofits that we work with, all of the do-gooders that we work with. We will now have a platform to introduce people with other people. So we're very excited to launch that. And unfortunately, we did not get to walk the floor to take pictures and do video. They do not let us in before or after the show hours, so we can only see them while we're in our booth. So I snuck up and took a few pictures yesterday. I'm going to try to do that again today. But with there being over 600 quilts in this building, probably not going to happen. But if you search for Atlanta QuiltCon, you'll find all kinds of feeds. I do encourage you, if you've never been to a QuiltCon, take a look at the quilts that are in the show. If you're used to traditional shows, you're going to see the aesthetic is much different. And for some people like it, some people love it, and some people don't. But it's so incredible to me to watch the range of skill and QuiltCon. You see a lot of different angles and a lot of simplicity and then a lot of complexity. It's been a phenomenal experience to be in this environment. So we have committed to going to Raleigh next year for QuiltCon. It'll be the same time next year. And I think we're also going to do the Blairsville Misty Mountain Show in September, and then probably East Cobb next year. So thank you guys for having joined us on this journey. This will probably be the last time we get to check in while we're here. It's going to be a very busy day. We'll be back on the road, and then we're on the road this week to St. Louis to pick up our son and have a little downtime, and then we'll be back to work with the Sewing Doc Academy. So thank you again, and if you are at QuiltCon today, we are at booth 1401 on the bottom floor, and we have stickers and all kinds of goodies, and we love hugs. So thank you guys.